to hear starting. Okay, Aarti, just can you please introduce? We would love to start with you because as you have to leave earlier. So, can you just introduce yourself and give a bit about your profession and things?
Sure, Agrima. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hi everyone. My name is Aarti. I'm Aarti Venkatesh. I am a brand social media strategist. I work for Ogilvy and Mather in Bangalore. I'm also an after hours entrepreneur, meaning I run a business outside of my working hours, 9 to 5, right? I run a business called Resume Articulation Services. I basically ghostwrite rather resumes and statements of purposes for university applications and such. Aside from that, as part of Resume itself, I'm also a content creator. I create a lot of content around career, resumes, and basically all things career. And rest of my credentials are on my bio. Please go and check out my Instagram page and check out my content. And if you like it, please do follow me. I'm pretty sure you will definitely find some actionable and valuable information every, thrice in a week or so. So that's the kind of timetable I'm trying to sort of abide to. So that's pretty much about me.
Okay, Aku, please take over. Thank you, Aarti. We have quite a lot of questions for you, so we would be asking it.
Sure, Agrima.
Aku, Akhil.
Yeah, Arati, hi. So we have few listeners here. So listeners, if you have any questions, please put up your hands. ഒന്ന് ഹാൻഡ് റേസ് ചെയ്യുക. ഇപ്പൊ ആസ് ഓഫ് നൗ നമുക്ക് പാനലിലുള്ളത് HR എക്സ്പെർട്ട് ആയ ഷിജു സാറും റെസ്യൂമെ കണ്ടന്റ് റൈറ്റർ ആരത്തിയുമാണ്. സോ ഇഫ് ഇറ്റ് ഓൾ പീപ്പിൾ ആർ ഹാവിംഗ് സം ഡൗട്ട്സ് പ്ലീസ് കം അപ്പ്. നമുക്ക് ഈ സെഷൻ ലെറ്റ്സ് മേക്ക് ഇറ്റ് ഫ്രൂട്ട്ഫുൾ. ലൈക്ക് നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും ഒരു ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് പാർട്ടാണ്, ജോലിയുടെ ഒരു ഭാഗമാണ്. കരിയർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒന്നാണ്. അപ്പം കരിയറിൽ ഒരു കരിയർ ഷേപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി നമ്മൾ പലപ്പോഴായിട്ടും നമ്മൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കപ്പെടാത്ത കുറെ കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ടാവും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കാൻ നമുക്ക് അത്രയും ഒരു ഇൻഡെപ്ത് നോളജ് ഇല്ലാത്ത കുറെ കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ടാവും. അപ്പൊ എങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് അതിലേക്കൊക്കെ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ ഒരു ഗോളിലേക്ക് അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ ഡയറക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാം എന്നുള്ളതിന്റെ ഒരു സെഷൻ. അപ്പം എന്തോ ആയിക്കോട്ടെ, ലൈക്ക് നമുക്കൊരു കരിയർ ഷേപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ എന്തൊക്കെ വേണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനത്തെ പാത്ത് എടുക്കണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഇന്റർവ്യൂ അറ്റൻഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ എന്തൊക്കെ കെയർഫുൾ ആയിരിക്കണം, ഒരു റെസ്യൂമെ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ എന്തൊക്കെ കെയർഫുൾ ആയിരിക്കണം, ഇങ്ങനത്തെ എല്ലാം എവറിത്തിങ് ആൻഡ് എനിത്തിങ് വിച്ച് കംസ് അണ്ടർ എൻ അംബ്രല്ല ഓഫ് കരിയർ നമുക്ക് ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാം. മാക്സിമം ഇവിടെയുള്ള സ്പീക്കർ പാനലിലെ എക്സ്പേർട്സിന് ആൻസർ തരാൻ പറ്റുന്നതായിരിക്കുമെന്ന് എനിക്ക് വിശ്വാസമുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ എല്ലാവരും പ്ലീസ് കം അപ്പ് വിത്ത് യുവർ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മുടെ പാനലിലുള്ള ഒരു HR എക്സ്പേർട്ട് ഷിജു സാറും, ഷിജു സാർ ഇപ്പം senior manager HR Sutkem India Private Limited in there. So this just a background about the company. This company is into manufacturing of chemicals, basically catalytic chemicals. So catalysis is the process. അവിടുത്തെ senior HR manager ആണ്. And Arati, as she have given a great or extensive description about her profile. So guys, yes, the room is open for everyone. If anyone has a doubt, please raise your hand and please go ahead. Yes, Sharath. I hope Sharathന് ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഉണ്ടെന്നാണ് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നത്.
അതെ. Okay, hi. So
ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു ഇൻട്രോ Sharath, and then you can put up your question.
Sure. Intro മലയാളത്തിലാവുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് കുഴപ്പമില്ലല്ലോ?
ഇല്ല. If you can keep it in English, because Arati is someone who does.
Sure. Yeah. I can do it in English as well. So I'm Sharath. I'm basically from Kerala.
Please go ahead in Malayalam, because I can understand Malayalam.
I'm comfortable in both the languages. So
Sharath, let's make it Malayalam only. Yes.
Okay, sure. Okay, എൻ്റെ പേര് ശരത്. ഞാൻ ബേസിക്കലി കേരള തൃശ്ശൂരിൽ നിന്നാണ്. ബട്ട് ഞാൻ പഠിച്ചതും വളർന്നതൊക്കെ ബാംഗ്ലൂരാണ്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഒറാക്കിളിന് വേണ്ടി വർക്ക് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. ഐ ഹാവ് അറൌണ്ട് 8 years of experience. ഓക്കെ, അതാണ് ഒരു ഷോർട്ട് ബ്രീഫ്. ഇനി എന്റെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ വന്നിട്ട് ഇപ്പോ എസ്പെഷ്യലി പാൻഡമിക് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ആയതിനു ശേഷം നമ്മൾക്ക് അറിയാം എല്ലാം ഇന്റർവ്യൂ പ്രോസസ്സും അതും ഇതും എല്ലാം ഓൺലൈനിലാണ് നടക്കുന്നത്. ആൻഡ് ഇപ്പോൾ വന്നിട്ട് ബൂമിങ് സൈറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ജോബ് അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ ആണല്ലോ. സോ നമ്മളിപ്പോ പെട്ടെന്ന് നമുക്കൊരു നോട്ടിഫിക്കേഷൻ വന്നു ജോബ് ഒരു ഇത് നമ്മളത് ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്ത് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ ദർ വിൽ ബി ലൈക്ക് അറൌണ്ട് 100-200 പീപ്പിൾ ഓൾറെഡി അതിന് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. പിന്നെ ആയിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സോ ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു സ്ക്രീനിങ് പ്രോസസ് എങ്ങനെയായിരിക്കും? സി വാട്ട്സ് ലൈക്ക് 200 പീപ്പിൾ ഓൾറെഡി അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിൽ നമ്മൾ നമ്മുടെ ഒരു റെസ്യൂം അപ്ഡേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ വാട്ട് ആർ ദ ചാൻസസ് ഓഫ് ആർ റെസ്യൂം ടു ബി പിക്ഡ്? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിൽ ജസ്റ്റ് ഇപ്പോൾ ഫീഫോ ബേസിസിലായിരിക്കും, അതായത് ഫസ്റ്റ് ഒരു ഫ്യൂ റെസ്യൂംസ് അവർ അത്രമാത്രം സ്ക്രീൻ ചെയ്യത്തുള്ളൂ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വുഡ് ദേ ഗോ സ്ക്രീനിങ് എൻറ്റയർ റെസ്യൂംസ്? സോ ഇതായിരുന്നു എൻ്റെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. I hope you got my question.
Yes. Should I take this, Akhil?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Okay, Sharath. So especially when you're applying to bigger companies, right? Not much with the smaller companies, but if say you're looking for a Fortune 500 or a Fortune 100 or a Fortune 50 company, say like Infosys, Accenture, Deloitte, McKinsey, and stuff like that. So they have this system called an ATS. An ATS is essentially an application tracker system, right? So basically, what happens is the system takes out all the resumes that are uploaded while applying for a job, and it parses keywords. So what happens is, in case, if your resume has enough number of keywords that the recruiter is looking for. So for instance, you're a programmer and you're applying for a programming position. Say the keywords the recruiter is looking for in a resume is, say, programming languages, C++, Java, Python, whatever. I'm not a technical person. I do not know much about it, but you get the idea, right? If these are the keywords that the recruiter is looking out for, they'll feed in that information, and the ATS sort of parses out just those keywords, and it highlights the resumes that has those keywords. So it helps the recruiter pick out the right candidate who has all of these keywords in his or her resume. So that's when these resumes get shortlisted, and from, say, if the company gets, say, 500 applications and the recruiter wants to see 50, and the ATS picks out the top 50 resumes with the highest volume of keywords that the recruiter is looking out for. These 50 resumes are then handpicked by the recruiter. The recruiter scans through these resumes and then picks out whichever number of candidates they want to interview or move forward with. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, got it. Thank you, Aarti. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aarti. Okay, anyone else?
ഞാനൊരു കാര്യം പ്രമോദ്.
Pramod, please go ahead.
No, I didn't have a question. I was just kind of, supporting Aarti's comments. And because I have been working with corporates for the last 25 plus years. Now I'm an entrepreneur. So I work with all large corporates like TCS, Indian conglomerates, as well as multinational corporations. TCS, Lucent Technologies, even a Trivandrum-based firm called Suntech. Then I was heading the technology sales for Intel across South Asia. I was the country manager for AlgoSec. And finally, I was heading the security sales for IBM across South Asia before I switched my entire line of work. I'm basically an engineer by profession, but I've been always an electrical and electronics engineer from Brilliant Technology, and had been always into ISIT, IT side of things, IT sales, IT business development. Have actually, spent my career into multiple different roles. So basically, if even Aarti were to look at my resume, she would feel that, I am kind of confused that I've been changing roles, but, it is a well thought out of decision. Because what I believe is the first 15-20 years of your life, you can actually afford to throw yourself into different because I eventually wanted to be an entrepreneur, and having a complete entire 360-degree view of an organization is actually imperative in that kind of a situation. So that is why I have done anything from software development to hardware networking, ISIT management, customer relationship management, development field support, sales, business development. Now, I mean, the only weak link was financing, and incidentally, now I run a couple of international banks, which is primarily into trade finance. So, from that perspective, I think now I have been able to build up a complete kind of a 360 view. I was an entrepreneur way back in 2009. It did not work out because of the financial downturn which had happened at that point of time because of the stock market and everything crashed at that point of time. And I worked all right through, being the CEO, the chairman to the janitor of that particular company. So, yeah, that's all about me. I was just seconding what Aarti said with respect to keywords. It's actually really imperative that, you either tailor make your this thing resume to a particular this thing, job if possible, other than your general broad LinkedIn outline or profile. Yes, LinkedIn is a great platform for networking. It is not only as of after the pandemic, it has been right from 2006. I mean, when we were with Intel and LinkedIn had a lot of collaboration, and so did, including Facebook at that point of time. But Facebook was more from a social, personal perspective, while LinkedIn had always been from a professional perspective. So, Aarti, I was just kind of, clapping by making my mute on and off, but Agrima thought that, I wanted to say something. And I think, yeah, so did the other moderators.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, Pramod. So, coming to the questions now. ആർത്തി എനിക്ക് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ആവശ്യമുള്ളതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഇപ്പം ഞാനൊരു CV എനിക്ക് ഉണ്ടാക്കണം എങ്കിൽ അതിൽ എന്തായിരിക്കും ഈ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിരിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ, ലെറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ബി ഇൻ എനി ഫീൽഡ്. അപ്പം അതിൽ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യാനിരിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ ഫസ്റ്റ് എൻ്റെ CV ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്താൽ ഏറ്റവും ഫസ്റ്റ് പോകുന്നത് എൻ്റെ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷനിലായിരിക്കുമോ, എൻ്റെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസിലായിരിക്കുമോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ അതിനെ എന്ത് രീതിയിലായിരിക്കും ഞാൻ ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്, സോ ദാറ്റ് ദ ഫസ്റ്റ് തിങ് വാട്ട് ദേ നോട്ടീസ് is very important for me.
Oh, okay. So I'll just repeat your question. Just tell me if I've understood it right. Are you asking me which section of one's resume a recruiter looks at first?
Yeah, that was my first question. Second question was in which way I should build up my CV. It should be more attractive or it should be more noticeable.
Okay, so I mean, like, it honestly depends upon your goals, your field of work, and what you're, where you're applying to. See, for instance, if you're a marketer or somewhere into a more creative profession, the way you present it or make it, colorful or fancy or with a lot of icons and stuff is very important. But if you're a technical person, and you're into, say, engineering or data science or Internet of Things and a lot of stuff like that, right? That way, you should give more weightage to your keywords and what you put into the resume more than how it looks. It has to be ATS friendly because you'll probably be applying to corporates, right? And all corporates mostly have an ATS. So the first thing essentially a recruiter will look at, if you're applying directly, right? Say it's a smaller company or you're or anytime, wherever, however the recruiter gets your resume, probably the first thing they look at would be your summary, the first summary that you write about yourself. That is the first thing they would be looking at. Education would mostly be the last thing, because they know. I mean, like, one biggest resume mistake I notice throughout all my clients and all the hundreds of resume reviews that I've done is people add everything from their childhood to their university in the education section, which is completely unnecessary, right? Putting in your 10th marks, your 12th marks. It might seem very important to you, but the recruiter essentially knows that you've crossed 10, you've crossed 12th, and only then you've gotten to an MBA, right? So a 10th mark or a 12th mark would not be that relevant. I hope I answered your question. Do you have a follow-up question?
Yes, Aarti. So that's actually very nice, because recently I was editing my CV and I was noticing like I have mentioned all the 10th, 12th, all my degrees. Then I thought like this is actually filling my all the data. So I deleted 10th and 12th. So just now when you mentioned, I remember. Okay. So my next question is how to make this, as you mentioned about the summary, right? So how to make
One
it.
second, Agrima.
Yeah,
I'm
sure, Aarti.
extremely sorry. I'm just getting a call. I'll be back in a jiffy.
Definitely.
I promise.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Aarti. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, Agrima. So, I do kind of agree with what Aarti says, but I also disagree with her because if you have something which is phenomenal and outstanding and you would like to bring it up onto your resume, I think one should do that. For example, I think I shared with you earlier in the past as well. I was 13th across India in ICSE. I was the topper in the country in physics in 1992. I was a recipient of the National Merit Scholarship from the Government of India. I was in the top 1% across the world in 92 in CBSE. So, these are things, obviously, if you have something which is kind of extraordinary, if you don't bring it up, there might not even be a discussion around that point of part of the thing. So it all depends on how you want to have your interview conducted. If you think that you're a good, at least from a sales and a business development perspective, it actually helps when you are able to weave a good story around your resume. That's what I believe. That's what I've been kind of able to do. Even in a technical this thing, see, unless and until one of my CEOs in a very early stage of my life told me, unless and until you tell the world what you are, how would the world ever get to know what you are? See, I'm not an expert in this topic, but these are my personal views and have been helpful. At least people whom I have mentored, they generally find it quite interesting.
Okay, thank you, Pramod. Actually, I think she meant it like, you normally mention 10th class, how much percentage we scored, 12th class, how much we scored. Like, normally, like, as a normal people, we almost score a bit above 50% or something like that. Okay. So, I think what she meant is we don't have to mention all our education like from the scratch. Rather, we would mention the higher degrees so that, people could be more interesting towards those degree. I guess. Okay, that's what she was mentioning. So let me go for the another question to everyone. We have another person called Sham here. He is very experienced person about all these things. So Shiju, Pramod, Sham, Sharath, anybody can please answer my question. So what do you think if I am writing a summary about me? Normally what we do is we copy paste from Google whatever we feel like, okay, for to growing up the company, to growing up myself, and all those stuffs we write, copy and paste. So it's a very normal thing what we repeat normally. So what do you think, what should we really write over there so that people feel like it's somewhere, catchy somewhere? So how to make that point?
So, Agrima, what I feel is, if you can use a professional resume writer, that is the best. If not, if you want to do it yourself, you're a do-it-yourself kind of a person, then probably, um, sorry, words which are attractive, keep it as short, simple, and it should hit. It's like hitting below the belt, like a punchline. So if you have such catchy words or catchy sentences in your summary, it actually helps. See, basically what you're trying to do is that, you want your CV to kind of stand out of the crowd. Okay.
That's
So if
exactly
you,
my point. So I think people can add more to it. Shiju or Sham, Artia, please.
Agrima, may I ask you a few questions before I move on to an answer?
Yeah, sure, Arti, please.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Like, what is your line of work? What is it that you do?
Oh, in that case, it's like I think it won't be a general answer, Aarti, because if you are asking me, like I am from a research background. I have done
Okay.
graduation and PGs in 3 subjects, and I am a PhD holder. I have done a PhD, so I am basically into the research part. So normally, what we do is for us, papers and our experience in the labs are more important. Like what are the techniques we have already used and what are the projects we have worked for. So
And
that's
the papers you've authored.
yes. So that's what I was mentioning as journal. So how many papers we got publication. So that's what matters to us more. So people just calculate everything on the basis of it. So if we have experience in some certain sort of some projects and they need it for their project, so they'll definitely hire us. That's how it works for us.
Got it. Got it. So for you to stand out, if I have to give you a tailored answer to just you, right? For you to stand out, see, the thing is, in material of, I mean, like, as a follow up to what Pramod sir had mentioned earlier, if you are a do-it-yourself person who doesn't want to hire a resume writer, the next best thing for you to do is you write out your resume, you follow everything that you find online to optimize your resume and you write it out. But please run it by a friend, okay? The reason why I say this is because a lot of little pieces of information might seem very important to you because you have, I mean, like an emotional attachment with that piece of information or any little experience that you want to add to, right? But from a third person's perspective, or say in this case your friend or a recruiter might not find it very attractive or very more than attractive, very relevant, right? So that will definitely help you cut out the unnecessary details from your resume. Now, a good length for someone like you who is into research and stuff like that would again be, if you're having a one-page resume, nothing like it. But the maximum you could probably stretch to is a two-page resume. Ideally, how you sort of club it all together and make it into a concise, crisp resume would be mentioning every little detail that you want to, and putting all the extra details into the description sections of your LinkedIn or a GitHub, or in your case, if you want to have a separate portfolio site or anything like it, or a blog post or whatever, you can link it back to that rather than putting every little detail into your resume, because a resume is ideally your calling card for an interview, right? When you're applying for a job or any sort of position. Now, this recruiter who's going to be scanning your resume would probably look at it just for a few seconds. If your resume is longer, any longer than one page or a maximum of two page, it's going to be a huge turnoff. Now, if I were a recruiter and I mean, I have like 5 resumes, and I see that there's this one resume that's one page and it's crisp and it has all the details, and there is this 6 page resume that's probably someone who's more experienced or who's probably a better fit also. Humanly, I have to read through 6 pages of this resume, and it's a huge turn off for me, right? It's going to be irritating. I have to read through every little detail to understand who you are, rather than you communicating it in a concise way. Because I might not be an industry expert, I might be a recruiter who hires people, who identifies the talent, but I am not, say, in your case, a research person or someone who works in a lab. So all of those extensive details that you would be giving might not be relevant to me, correct? So the best way out would be to back channel it to a portfolio or a GitHub or a blog or wherever you want to give out that extensive explanation.
ഓക്കെ താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച് ആർത്തി. ഐ തിങ്ക് കുറേ ആൾക്കാർക്ക് ചോദിക്കാനുണ്ട്. സോ ഐ എം കീപ്പിംഗ് ക്വൈറ്റ്. പ്ലീസ് ഗോ അഹെഡ്.
Um, I have to post a question. So basically, Aarti, it's to you. Yeah, I am from an engineering background. Okay, So നമ്മളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചോളം when we build up അല്ലെങ്കിൽ when we construct a resume, we have to show some projects which we have done. Or അത് നമ്മുടെ എക്സ്പെർട്ടീസിനെ കാണിക്കുന്നതാണ് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നത്. സോ ഇൻ ദാറ്റ് കേസ് വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻസ് ഇസ് ലൈക്ക് വെൻ വി ജോട്ട് ഡൗൺ അവർ പ്രോജക്ട്സ് ദേ it becomes a lengthy one. Okay, we mention our role there, we mention our the critical or the pivotal roles we handle, and then the project's handle has to be provided, it seems. So is that right? If we write down the projects handled or the achievements which we had in our role at that particular organization, or should we not consider putting it?
No, it's 100% legitimate to mention all the projects you worked on, and the tech stack you used, especially for each of these projects, right? Although you'll be adding your tech stack to your skills section, adding it under every project sort of gives you more context on how you used it for that particular project. So if I were you, I would ideally mention the name of the project, like the duration of it, and where which company or which experience it refers to, and a short one sentence summary of what the project is all about, okay, and the tech stack you used for the project. And later you can just hyperlink your GitHub to it, or in general you can have one GitHub where all your projects go, especially if you are an engineer and you work on a lot of projects across jobs. GitHub is honestly your best friend. You'll have to put down every bit of your project explanations and the tech stack you've used for each project and your role in it, or your learnings from it, in detail in GitHub, but it can go in just one sentence in your resume. Does that answer your question, Akhil, or do you have a
Yes,
follow-up?
yes, as it was quite clear.